Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the New Jersey Titans Coach's Corner. I have with me the head coach of the New Jersey Titans, Craig Doremus. Craig, thanks so much for taking the time.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, when you go on the league website right now, there's a little bit of a new wrinkle in the standings. It's that little X next to the New Jersey Titans. Congratulations. New Jersey Titans are a playoff team. Certainly wasn't a sure thing the way this season kind of started, but you guys powered through. Congratulations.
Yeah, happy for the guys. Like you said, started the season extremely slow. It was an uphill battle throughout. I think we've surged at times, then come back to earth a bit. But nevertheless, a good job by all the guys for qualifying for the playoffs, and a very different season for everyone, especially considering the amount of new faces we had in place when the season started. So really proud of the guys.
Well, since we last spoke, played 3 games. We'll start with the 2 games set down in Maryland against the Black Bears. Game 1, 2-1 loss. Anthony Calafiore scores relatively early on, first period power play goal. Power play is still massive right now. Again, you guys are running a really solid clip. How huge is that going into the playoffs? I mean, teams are going to be afraid to play you physically simply because they go to the box. They're going to be in some trouble.
Yeah, the power play has been impressive. Both units have manipulated the puck pretty well and been able to capitalize and find the back of the net there with some fair consistency. And I think you outlined the importance of it. It changes the way teams play against you. Maybe creates a little bit more time and space than it normally would for your players 5-on-5 because teams feel that threat of the power play. So really happy with the guys. I think they've bought into what we want to do philosophy-wise and tactically. And I think that's making a huge difference for them there. And obviously it's just so critical for us, that special teams component heading into the postseason.
Now, unfortunately, again, as we mentioned, the Black Bears able to come back for the 2-1 victory. In spite of the result, you outshoot them 36-27. Is there a sense of frustration of the bench? You're peppering the cage, just not getting the results, or is that just a constant reminder? Okay, we're getting the play, we'll get the goal. Again, this game didn't quite happen, but most of the time it does.
Yeah, I think for us, we've just stressed the importance of the details of the game and the importance of each play and each shift. We had manipulated and managed the lead till the third period on Thursday night. And then obviously they were able to get the tire and the eventual game winner late. We had scored another goal in the first period that gets called back. It was a questionable call, and I thought at that point we were firmly in control of the game. And obviously they get left the hook there by the friendly call for them. So, but I thought our guys did a good job responding. Like you said, we managed to what I thought was control the majority of the game there. They make a good play to tie it, and then they make a really nice own entry tip in front of the net to go up 2-1. And I thought we had some really good pushback even late after that. We just weren't able to find the back of the net.
Quick turnaround. You played the Black Bears the next night, scheduled for a 6:30 p.m. start, but due to a power outage at the arena, game was canceled. You're probably heading towards the bus. Then minutes later, the game was reinstated for 9:30. Give me an idea of what you guys went through. Again, I didn't make the trip, so give me some kind of idea how that kind of turned around.
Definitely a different type of pregame. We had arrived at the rink shortly before 4:30. Like you had mentioned there, went back and forth whether we were going to play or not, or when the game was going to be played. And we actually were packing the bus as the power came back on in the rink, and we all felt it was in the best interest of the team. If we could get the game in on Friday, we wanted to do so. We were there, we were prepared. The guys had a lot of fun during the downtime. They had played some baseball and some soccer and some football, and I just think it was a different pregame in terms of that. And then it was kind of helter-skelter in terms of, repacking the dressing room and getting everything set up and getting the guys mentally focused on the task at hand. But I thought they did a good job. They actually felt really confident going into it as well. They thought that it was going to be good. And I think it loosened them up a bit. It was a really big game for us. And I thought they came out there and, we controlled the game for the most part from the drop of the puck on, got the first one to put them on their heels right away. And then from there, just kind of steered the ship out direction the rest of the way.
Yeah, definitely worked out. As you mentioned, Evan Werner got the goal to start things off just a couple of minutes in. 5-0 victory, outshot. But one thing that's never apparent when you're looking at box scores is quality chances, which is certainly something, as I rewatched the game, that you guys pretty well carried. Is that more of the focus? I mean, you guys never look up at the scoreboard for the shots on goal, obviously.
No, it's actually it's funny you say because we do. It's a big part of our philosophy. Actually, I think we believe it's an indicator of game and possession time, zone time, defensive feet, and posture. So it's something that we do try to focus on. Obviously you want to get the high quality grade A chances as well, but I think there's some importance in terms of getting pucks to the net, putting the other team with their feet down ice, retrieving rebounds and whatnot. So I think that defensive mentality that you put teams on is important there. And for us to get outshot, I thought we did a good job of mostly keeping them to the perimeter and not giving them any secondary or tertiary chances in terms of shots on net. But we did get outshot, and that happens, right? You're up late, take your foot off the gas a little bit. They have a little bit more urgency, so they start firing pucks from all directions there. But I thought for the most part, at all times, we were in control of the game, and we felt like we had a good hold on it.
Christian Stoever, thanks to a 35-save shutout, second shutout of the season. He stopped 60 of 62 on the weekend. For the third time, named the East Division Star of the Week. Now, he had a real rough game a couple of weeks ago. That is a fantastic bounce back for him. And again, heading towards that playoffs, it's always wonderful to have a hot keeper.
Absolutely. Christian's been a stabilizing force for us. I think what I've found remarkable is not only his ability to play tremendous and make the spectacular saves, but even when he's not in his A game, he tries to give our team a chance to win. And I thought that was evident here recently. He has the ability to respond and bounce back. He's human like every other goalie. He had a couple games this year. I'm sure he'd love to restart them. But for the most part, he's been a stabilizing force for us since coming here in February. And we're extremely confident with him in the net. And we think he gives us a really good chance to win every single day in the net.
Somewhat rare midweek game followed on Tuesdays. You went up to Connecticut for a matinee against the Danbury Junior Hat-Tricks. Got off to a bit of a slow start. You were down 4-1 after 2 periods. What was the conversation like in the locker room in that second intermission?
To be honest with you, the coaches didn't do any of the talking between 2 and 3. We let the leaders have at it a bit. The coaches had done enough speaking prior to that point, and I felt that we weren't making any headway, and that it was something that they were going to have to make a cognitive decision amongst the group to change the tide. We had talked about what we needed to do tactically as a group in all 3 aspects of the game and in all 3 zones, and it just wasn't there for whatever reason. So we wanted to leave it to them and give them some ownership in terms of what the response was going to be. I thought, obviously, hindsight being 2020 now afterwards, they did a remarkable job. Got the team going. We dominated the entire third period, and we even had a goal called off there that was a debatable one. So really proud of that effort for the guys. And, obviously you take it to overtime in the skill competition shootout there. So good win, really big win, really important bounce back for us. And I think it shows a lot of fortitude in terms of their response, trailing somewhat significantly going into the final 20.
And again, it didn't take long heading into that third period. It was Caleb Price, Nick Seitz scoring in the first 2 minutes, as you mentioned, basically tilting the ice in your favor. Leveni Karasesh, he gets the tying goal. Something else to be proud of is the performance of the shootout. Early in the season, we've talked about how it was a bit of a problem, even though it's only the skills competition, but it's a point in the standings that you lose. So all the work paying off, even though it won't mean much for the playoffs, obviously, but it's got to feel good looking at the work that you put in on the shootout, you're able to finish one off.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think you hit it on the head there. It's not only the points that you lose, it's the points that the other team gained. And if you look at it now, I believe we have 5 shootout losses here. That's potentially a 10-point swing elsewhere. And if we come out on top of most of those, maybe we're battling for second and first right now rather than battling for third and fourth. So they are big points. And early in the year, we were coming up on the wrong side of it way too often. So I think it's something that we responded to. Obviously, some different guys have contributed, whether it's in net or one of the shooters there. But a good response by us going into the top of the third there. We tie it. We're a save away from losing the game. So big goal by Nicky Seitz there to tie it. And then obviously Stove's playing well and Tommy Bannister getting the game winner for us. Tommy had a huge game and couldn't be more happy for him in his response.
Well, now we move forward to the final weekend of the regular season, light at the end of this regular season tunnel. Still something to play for, as you mentioned, trying to hold off the Black Bears for third. On the other side of things, your opponent, the Northeast Generals, desperately clinging to playoff hopes. Again, they've got to pretty much be perfect for the last 5 games. So in true East Division form, this is going to be a couple of great matchups.
Yeah, I mean, the teams have battled. It's always been a good rivalry between us and the Generals. I think we bring out the best in one another. The teams compete hard. It's always tight, hard checking, detailed game, and you got to be sound with and without the puck, and you got to be good in your special teams there. So we think it's a great weekend for us, considering it's the last weekend before we go into the playoffs. It's going to be a playoff type atmosphere. Like you had mentioned, those guys are going to be desperate, fighting for their lives. And we know that we have to be prepared to go up there and play well on the road, right? It's an important series. And we know that they haven't played many home games, so they're going to value those opportunities here for the rest of the year. And we want to make sure that we put our best foot forward and represent our Six the right way. Like you mentioned, we have a lot to play for here still as we enter the final 2 weekends of the regular season. And we've talked as a team about just valuing the opportunity we have this year to play hockey. There's so many folks who didn't have that chance. So it's a point of emphasis for us every day when we come to the rink for practice and certainly for games as well. So it's a big game for us, and we want to make sure that we're prepared and ready to go.
So as mentioned, Titans will close out their regular season up in Attleboro, Massachusetts against the Northeast Generals Friday and Saturday night at 7 p.m. and both on Hockey TV. Greg, thanks so much for joining me, and best of luck this weekend.
Appreciate it, Tommy. See you soon.
Well, thanks for joining us for another New Jersey Titans Coaches Corner. My name is Tom Willms, and we will see you real soon.